Where does this go next? What's the next milestone in this mess?
Yeah, I think, we're all looking now towards October. So when you think about that the UK Parliament is now on a break for the summer, Theresa May got through last week by making a few concessions to her Chequers plan. And ultimately now we look to the next meeting with the European Union in October to see actually how does this all play out once they get onto the table for negotiations. Obviously, we are running out of time now, so this meeting in October is crucial to understanding whether we will be pushing towards a harder Brexit or a no Brexit situation, and understanding how that plays out for the market from here as well.
Meenal, would you be looking to sort of take opportunities on pound weakness right now, or is it just too risky?
Well, from our perspective, the way we've been looking at this is ultimately we've seen over the last week or so some more sterling weakness being put into the price, that risk premium coming in onto the currency perspective. But what we haven't seen is really volatility picking up. So in our view, we think the volatility is far too low for the risks that are out there. When we started the beginning of this year, there was more of an idea that we might get a transition deal coming through. As we've progressed through the negotiations, it's becoming more and more likely that you get those tail risks, and we don't think the volatility market is correctly priced at this point. So we've been advising clients to actually buy that volatility on those tails and position in that respect, so positioning for that downside through option markets.
I mean, what is the bigger issue here that's driving movement in the pound? I mean, obviously it is any developments or the lack thereof on Brexit. To what extent are other factors weighing into that? I mean, the rising global rates, you've got a backdrop of rising trade tensions, and the UK is arguably in the middle of it.
Yeah, no, exactly. And if you look at sort of the price action we had last week, we tested 130 in sterling dollar, which was a significant milestone in terms of how we've developed over the course of this year with regards to the Brexit conversation. But then ultimately, towards the end of the week, the dollar side of the story started to outweigh, and we've pushed back towards 131 again. So you do have these different stories coming through. And the more we see President Trump and the trade escalation talk coming through, and the more that we start to see more of these tweets coming out that impact the currency side from the dollar perspective, it does start to skew some of the risks that are in there at the moment for sterling. And ultimately, how that could play out further from here is that as we start to see some more developments coming through on the political side in the UK, you could start to see that outweighing some of the dollar side, which obviously we haven't seen so far this week.